Well, here's a break from the norm. I often get accused of not responding to all the comments left on YouTube, usually because I get between 1 and 2 million hits each month. So the number of comments from those is pretty substantial. And I don't have enough hours in the day, sadly. Well, I found myself on holiday with a bit of time on my hands, and I took some time to take a much closer look. Oh dear. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air, and today you find me in a vineyard in Germany on my way home from holiday. The pops and bangs, by the way, that you may be hearing are the local bird scarers, easy for me to say, so I apologise for them in advance. But let's get down to it and take a look at a few of the comments that grabbed my attention, for good reason, and some not so good reasons. Let's get straight to it, shall we? Firstly, the personal comments. Let's start on a positive note. You should be the next James Bond. Very kind, but if Daniel Craig feels he is no longer fit enough or young enough, then I probably won't get very far in the auditions. But thank you again. Screw this airgun gig. You should be a newsman on TV, and you should be doing voiceover work for video games and documentaries. Again, very kind. Sadly, I haven't had many offers yet, but I'm ever hopeful. On the flip side, there is this one. Who talks like that? Very irritating. My response would be, who spells very with 2 R's and irritating with an E? I'm pretty sure that would be irritating to a lot of people. You remind me of Matt from Demolition Ranch. I'm afraid I don't know who Matt is from Demolition Ranch. Maybe I should take a look, so I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I have had quite a few "you look like" type of comments over the years, including Noel Edmonds, James May and many more, including Rolf Harris, which I objected to and indeed removed. I then get comments like this one. These reviews would be so much better if you spoke normally. Now, I'm not sure what Martin means by normally. This is me. I'm English and proud to be. I'm specifically from the northeast of England, and this is how I speak. I don't swear, I try not to use slang, and I do get a bit excitable sometimes. Other than that, nope, this is me. I often get comments about the length of my hair, the colour of my face, accusations of being drunk, and many more. Some of the things I've actually had to look up. I've never heard of a pole licker. The only thing I have to say about these sorts of comments is, what has that got to do with gun reviews? I'll have my hair cut when I want. I don't actually drink because it gives me sinus issues, so I don't bother. And anyone who knows me knows which side of the street I walk, if you get my drift. These people shouldn't be too surprised if personal insults disappear from the comments section, along with their right to leave any further comments. I'm not about to be drawn into anything by such comments. I have a pretty good sense of humour, and I don't mind being involved in a joke, and my skin is pretty thick. But obvious insults for the sake of being insulting get you blocked. Fair? Regular reviewers and subscribers would also know I don't use profanities here. I can swear as good as the next man, but there is a time and a place, and it's not here on this channel, where the younger generation have access. Call me old-fashioned if you like. It's worth noting that YouTube has a sin bin and keywords, including swearing, which will send the comment straight to the bin, usually followed by a complaint from the person leaving the comment that they've been deleted and their comment has been removed. Nope, the algorithm has done it, and if they'd tried leaving out the bad language and following YouTube's community guidelines, then likely as not it will go straight through. And who knows, it may be a very valid comment. Then I get some very valid questions from the newbies, questions that often the experienced shooters would raise their eyebrows and tut. One that keeps being asked time and time again is the one like this one. Would a 12-volt car tyre inflator fill a gun? Maybe a stupid question, but felt the need to ask. Cheers, mate. Sadly, the answer to this one is no. A car tyre runs to about an average of about 35 pounds per square inch of pressure, which is approximately 2.4 bar. A typical air tank goes up to 300 bar. So unless your little 12-volt tyre pressure pump will go as high as 4,300 psi, I don't think you're going to get that little money-saving idea to float. Sorry. Then I get quite a few comments asking me how to tune up this or that gun. No, that would get me a visit by the old Bill, as I would be putting out information around how to break the UK gun laws, which will get both my licences revoked and probably a stay at His Majesty's pleasure in one of his long stay hotels with bars on the windows. Now, let's take a quick look at the I know best comments, which nearly always come from a non-subscriber and are usually full of opinion, guesswork and very low on facts, and often being the funniest. This one caught my eye and is a favourite of mine, and was a comment about the new BSAR 12. It's a HW100 copy. All the wear-ouch bits are there. The side lever, the low magazine, the thumbhole stock. I believe BSA import their barrels. What can I say other than, really? That's not how you spell Virarc. And let me think, are there any other companies out there fitting their guns with side levers? Heck, the list is endless. Maybe they've all copied the Virarc. Low magazine, again, the list is huge. Indeed, I'd struggle to find a company that has a high one. Thumbhole stocks on guns? Has this guy actually seen any other guns out there other than his HW100? The last bit is the best bit. BSA import their barrels. Oh dear. I don't suppose he's heard of the famous BSA cold hammer forged barrels that makes them so accurate and is used widely on the BSA guns and some Gamos as well. The machine is incidentally in their Birmingham factory and is their pride and joy. Not content with that little lot, he then left a reply to his own comment claiming even the stippling is a Weirrouch rip-off. So stop earning your bonus and calm down. The stippling is made by Manelli in Italy, who make stocks for companies such as BSA, Daystate, Air Arms, and many more. All of them have stippling of one design or another, and beautiful they all are. The bonus bit? Well, to get a bonus, first of all, I'd need to be paid, which I'm not, by any company to review their guns. Period. Calm down. If you were a regular to this channel, then you will know if I like something, I often get excited because I really enjoy what I do. But apart from all of the above, thank you for the entertainment. There have been quite a few HW100 comments flying around recently for some reason, such as, why haven't I reviewed one? Well, I used to own one, and it was probably the only gun I've owned and subsequently sold. It is German quality, built like a howitzer, and about as heavy to carry around all day. Mine was the FAC version and a little longer and probably a little heavier than standard, but it became tiresome after a full day out shooting. I do have a HW110, which I've reviewed and waxed lyrical about. but sadly it's in to be repaired as the power level has worked its way down to around 8.5 foot-pounds, which isn't an unusual thing with Virox. Indeed, no airgun is really without the possibility of issues, but I'm certainly not going to try and destroy Virox's global reputation for it. Like I said, airguns can have the odd problem from time to time. Considering the pressures that they hold, it's only surprising they don't go wrong more often than they actually do. Then there are the comments I just don't understand, like this one about the little PCP pistol gem from Diana. Filler probes suck and no reason for them. This is overpriced and still have to pay to fill. Where do I start with this one? You will struggle to find a PCP gun that doesn't need some sort of fill probe to get air into. It's an air gun. Overpriced? Damn! How cheap does he want an air gun for? This is a cracking pistol and really excellent value for money. And you have to pay to fill it? The only gun I can think of that doesn't require some form of additional source of power to propel the pellet is a Springer. All the rest need air, CO2, PCPs, bullets using gunpowder, etc. And to the very best of my knowledge, there isn't a Springer pistol with a multi-round magazine available. Oh, tough audience, this one. Then, just occasionally, someone comes along with a comment that simply says it all. This one happens to be, again, about the R12. It doesn't seem to matter what BSA do these days because it's become fashionable to slate them. I can already hear right-handed people complaining there's no left-hand version. It weighs half an ounce too much for me, who always shoots off arrest. That the metalwork is the wrong shade of black. That the whole gun is because the rubberized cheek piece grabs their designer stubble, or at that price point they're disappointed that it doesn't include a gold-plated yacht. Thank you, Kevin. I couldn't agree with you more. Firstly, thank you for correct spelling and punctuation, grammatically correct and fully legible and understandable. A pleasure to read from an obviously intelligent individual. I too don't understand why we Britain bash and be needlessly anti-product before they've even had a chance to see it for themselves. And whilst we're talking about intelligent individuals, the late Christopher Hitchens once said, "That which is asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence." So, if you're going to comment about something without any real knowledge or actual first-hand experience, claiming something is rubbish and you haven't tried it, then I think it's quite acceptable to ignore the individual's comments completely and dismiss their validity without the need to justify doing so. I also love these. If it's from China, I ain't interested. Typed on his iPhone, wearing his designer trainers, made in a sweatshop in China, and with around 90% of his worldly goods made in China, but he never checked the small print made in PRC, which incidentally means People's Republic of China. Heck, they even fillet Scottish salmon in China and ship it back here to be sold. We live in a global society, and this same individual will probably also be the same one who even trashes homemade products. Who knows? Another one. Have you ever tried a $18 scope from Amazon? Try it, then come back and talk. The answer to that question is yes. I probably wouldn't give you $18 for one either. When it comes to glass, you get what you pay for. If your budget is that low, then it will get you started. But don't look for longevity or quality, and you will most definitely have parallax issues. Enough said. Can you do a lever swap over video sometime? I have. and I believe it was on the Airgun video. Maybe I should simply do it on a Vineyard HW100 because everyone has copied their design anyway. Hang on a moment, they're not interchangeable on a Vineyard, are they? I often get asked which scopes I'm using. Mostly it will either be the 6-24 Continental, which is an awesome scope, a little expensive for some people, but it's like watching a widescreen 4K TV. Or I often use the Veyron 6-24x44, which is a superb scope for the money, again with superior optics, compact, and in comparison to a lot of the competition, really well priced. What about this one? 06906. After scratching my head for a moment, I thought about it and then passed that one over. Hopefully, Bletchley Park will get back to me soon. Can't wait to see another rifle you can shoot 1/4-inch groups at 40 yards with ease, just like every rifle you review. I would love to say it's all down to my skills, but sadly the comment is, firstly, a bit of an exaggeration, but perfectly accurate when it comes to the BSA, AGTs, RTIs, etc. and even the odd budget gun, which is a pleasant surprise when it happens. Sadly, there are occasions when I can't find a barn door big enough to hit from some manufacturers' guns. I'm still waiting on a replacement for the Raws that I reviewed in March and struggled with. They claim they've cured the issue, but still won't send me one to redo the video that has been on hold since then. I also get a lot of people ask me how the budget water-cooled compressor is working. The answer is, I don't know. It has no bearings in the motor and is too much trouble to set up and use. I mostly use carbon tanks that are very kindly filled at Vector Air on their large compressor, which is easier and quicker and more reliable. The big Daystate one in the same video, incidentally, has been repaired twice and now has since given up the ghost entirely after around 10 hours usage. Which compressor would I buy if I wanted one? Either one of the dual voltage small ones or the quite expensive but superbly made Hill EC3000, which again is British and with the best after sales service I've experienced. Those guys are amazing. The purchase questions. So many times I get asked in broken English and the comment usually begins with the word "Sir, how can I buy one of these?" relating to one gun or another that's being reviewed. You send it to me please, and this is 99% of the time from a country where ownership is completely illegal. Or I get begging comments telling me how poor they are and I should export a free gun to them in India or the like, and then I get a question like, where can I buy one of these from near me? But completely neglect to state which country even that they're in. What chance do I have? And then I get a Brit asking me who stocks the gun, when I've just completed a video and thanked Vector Air for the loan of one of their guns. Now it would be easy if I simply put a link to the item in the notes section of the video, I can hear you saying. Well, that is completely against YouTube rules and would get me shut down in a heartbeat. I realise there are some guys walking around shops showing stocks of second-hand guns for sale on YouTube. But again, this kind of direct selling is actually against the YouTube guidelines and leaves them very vulnerable. Hence, I simply thank whichever company it is for the loan of the gun. I could go on and on, but that is probably enough to give you an idea of the kind of comments I'm asked to reply to. I do think it would be a good idea to put together a set of responses and replies, sort of a Q&A session for the more serious questions, because that will probably save me trying to answer the same questions dozens of times to individuals. That's it. I've enjoyed this little insight into a sample of thousands of comments I get each week, and hopefully I haven't upset too many people. There will always be negative individuals out there. There will always be the core fan base for one gun company or another. The know-it-alls and the all the gear but no idea individuals. And thankfully, the vast majority of people who simply enjoy what we do here on AAR On Air, trying to bring the latest reviews and encourage people into the airgun community with a range of guns from the high-priced to the low-end almost giveaway guns for both the experienced and new starters. We get an average thumbs up rate of 99%, which tells you we're doing something right. And we know the sour grapes are from the 1% minority, who are usually the most vocal, sadly. But that seems to be the case everywhere these days. We have great fun doing this channel and have grown a bit of a rhino skin over the years, which does help. And I remember being told by Giles a few years ago that I would need to. It's also interesting how many people per day ask me to review their amazing new products. Often ones such as paper targets and the like, which anyone with a printer could produce. But they want me to help them sell billions of them and put a 20-minute program together around a paper target. Fully controlled and scripted by them with full links and promotions built into the program. We often get treated as though AAR is some form of dragon's den, and they then get very upset when we very kindly and politely decline an idea that is likely to go nowhere or has been done so many times, or we simply wouldn't want to be associated with it. I know I'm not paid by anyone to do these reviews, but I don't have an endless supply of time to help every amazing idea that someone has thought up. These ideas do come in at a rate of several per week. I love it though when a new and original idea comes through, but that is few and far between. I could write a whole program on some of the crazy people who contact us demanding we do something or other. But whilst it would definitely be very funny, it would be pretty embarrassing for some of them. Sadly, it has also become quite a full-time job to protect the channel from scammers trying to get people's details using fake giveaway invitations. Other people imitating the AAR website and channel. People wanting to badmouth a company using my platform by putting abusive or negative comments in the reply section of hundreds of people's valid comments. So policing the channel is also a full-time job. Well, that's a bit of a taster of the kind of things we have to wade through. Hopefully you found it entertaining and realise why I don't reply to everyone's comments. And somewhere in there, I need to review the odd gun or two as well. That's it. Thank you so much for your time and support. Normal service will be resumed very shortly, I'm sure. Until then, please hit the like button, subscribe, share and click the old alarm bell. Join in with this little lot, and there is always the AAR website for chats and official merchandise. Feel free to annoy the guys at Vector Air, without whom I would struggle to bring you all the latest reviews, etc. A big thank you to Mrs. AAR, who also manages a lot of the channel's tasks and responsibilities. Without her, it would become rather difficult indeed. Well, impossible really. Stay safe and shoot safe, and I'll see you next time. Shall we see if we can get some wine out of this stuff? Bye for now.